Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your love, for your support. If you are new to the channel, you're welcome. And if you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate for you to hit on the subscribe button and then share this video with your friends if you find it helpful. And then hit on the notification bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. Okay guys, so I'm just so excited because anytime I'm dealing with beginners, I'm just so excited. They're just like babies in the sewing industry. You know how cute babies are, yeah. So guys, yeah, seriously. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a fitted gown with full lining. So this gown, we're going to be doing the you see the drafting, even though we're not starting the drafting from scratch, the drafting, the cutting, the stitching, the shaping. Yeah. So these are all of the things that you are going to learn from today's class. So just sit tight and relax. You understand? So this is my fabric that I'm going to be making use of. This is like a damask fabric, and I have 2 yards of this fabric, and then I have my lining here, and then I have my basic pattern. So I decided not to start this video from scratch because if I start it from scratch, the video will be too long. So it's better for us to concentrate on the lining and the shaping part of our gown. You understand? So I already have this pattern. I've done this one before for a fitted gown. So I'll drop the link on the description box in case you don't know how to do a gown. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, so like I said, if you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button. I would appreciate that. And then let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I want to my dart lines. I want my darts to start from the top. I want it to run all the way across. So I'm going to show you how to adapt that style line. Okay, it's a very simple. Okay, so I've added a little bit of allowance to my pattern since I'm cutting it open, so I needed to add a little bit of allowance to it, so when I join it's not going to get truncated. So note that. So the next thing now, I'm going to cut, and then I extended the length a little bit more. I want it to be a midi gown. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the back now. So the back, I'm going to cut it like the front. The only difference is that I'm going to add a dart to this. This is the only part that is going to be different. I'll just add 2 inches to this for my dart allowance, and then cut out the lining also, and then we'll continue from there. Okay guys, so I've cut out all of my pieces. Okay, so since this is a straight gown, I want you to note something. These are the side pieces. So I'm going to take the fabric away, and then this is the back piece, the center back, and then this is the center front. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to reduce. So I'm just trying to put a mark there so I'll know that that's the top part. So we're going to reduce our lining, the length of our lining. So you put that into consideration. If not, the line is going to be coming out. So you place them together like this. Okay, so these ones are already placed together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just trying to measure to check. Okay, so I'm going to come to the down part of my dress, and then I'm going to take out about 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So I'm trying to find the stock. So I'll take out 1.5 inches from the length of my lining. And then I'll do the same thing to the side piece. And then the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a neckline to my actual bodice. So let's add our neckline before we continue. So to add the neckline is a simple neckline. So it's just going to be on the center piece. It's not going to get to the side. It's just a simple round neckline. So I'm going to place them like this. This is the center part. So I've seen my, okay, I found my chalk. So the next thing I'm going to come to this part, and this is the front. So I'll mark 3 inches. So like I said, just a simple neckline. I'll mark 3 inches like this. And then I'm going to take, depends on how deep I want it to be. Okay. So this dress is actually going to be a sleeveless dress. So I'm going to make my neckline. My neckline is going to be like 7 inches, between 6 and 7 inches. So I'll mark it like this so you can see I've marked it. The next thing I'll use my pattern curve to curve this in, just a round neckline. Okay. So that's for the front, but for the back is not going to be deep. So for the back, I'm just going to do 1.5 inch. I don't want it deep. So I'll cut this out now. And then I'll cut the front out. So the next thing now, we're going to go over. I'll show you how we are going to stitch this together. So my back piece, I'm going to open up on my dart line. Okay. So the next thing now, let's go and stitch all of our pieces together. So we'll stitch our lining separately and then stitch our fabrics. So let me use the fabric. Let's leave the lining. Still the same process. So this is my front piece. Okay. I'm going to take my front piece. I'll take 2 pieces from here like this, and then I'm going to join. So I'll open this up now. So you can see the shape because of that area. You can see how this looks like. So that's when you take out that dart like that, you are going to achieve that result. So I'll take this back to my machine now, and then I'm going to stitch this close. Okay. So with that, I'm going to have my dart running from the top to the bottom. Okay. So the same thing I'm going to do. I'll do this and then do the back piece, the same thing like this, and then do the lining, all of the linings. I'm going to run all of them like that, and then I will come back and show you what's next. Okay, so you can see I have finished stitching my dress. So this is my dart. So I've placed them down. So I stitched it down. So I'm going to turn this like this. So these are my lining piece also. I turned them down. That's I've finished stitching. So I'm going to show you now before you couple your dress. Here's what you are going to do. So you are going to take the front piece like this. That's the back piece. You place them together. You can decide to pin it, but this my fabric is a stable fabric, so you can still go. So you place them together and then you take your front piece like this and then you place them like this. Okay, make sure you place them together. So the next thing we are going to do now, I'm going to take out my measurements. Okay, and then I'll add allowance because you don't want to just turn your dress like that. It's going to be excess. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to measure my shoulder. So this dress, I actually want it to be a sleeveless dress. Okay, so my normal shoulder is 14, which is 7, but I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to make it 6. I'm going to make my shoulder 12 because I'm making a sleeveless. So it's going to be 6 inches. I'll reduce it by 1 inch. Okay, so from that point, I'm going to just make sure that this part is looped. I'm just trying to double check everything, okay? Because we're coupling, final coupling now. So you need everything to be in place. So the next thing, I'm going to mark my armhole, which half of my armhole, which is 9 inches, is actually 18. So from this point, I'm just going to curve my armhole the way I want it to be. Like I said it's a sleeveless dress, okay? So I'll curve that into that part like that. The next thing, I'm going to measure my bust measurement. So my bust is 36, which is 9. So I have 2 inches allowance. That's okay. And then my under bust, I'm just trying to double check all of my measurements. And then my hip measurement. Okay, so the hip, I'm just going to trim it a little bit like this, just to make sure that everything is straightened out. Okay, and then the down part of my gown, it depends on how slim I want it to be. So I'm just going to bring that. I want it to be 11. So I'll just shape that into this part. And then the next thing, I'm going to check the length, double check the length, okay? So at the end of the day, my dress is going to be 42. So I'm just going to trim it. So I have about 43 here. So I'm just trying to trim to make sure that back and front, everything is the same. So that's basically what I'm doing. To make sure you check everything to make sure that they are equal, everything is okay. I'm going to add a little bit of slit to it. So I'm just going to take about 7 or 8 inches. Okay. So I'm going to cut that out from my, okay. So you can see everything is intact, everything is shaping together. So the next thing, I'm going to take them one at a time. I'll take my front lining and then I'm going to place it like this. Make sure everything is laying flat. I'll place this on top like this. Okay. So you know my lining, I actually reduced my lining by 1.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now, for the neckline, I'm not going to add the neckline. Okay. So for the armhole, I'll just trace out the neckline. Okay. So the same thing I did, I'm going to do it to the back also. So I'll take the back piece and then I'll place them together and then check everything also. And then I'll do that now. Turn this like this. This is the right side now of my fabric. And then I'll take of my lining rather. I'll take this now. I'll place it like this. Okay. So you can see how it is looking. So you can see it is longer. The line is shorter. Okay. So I'll take this back now to my machine. Okay guys, so this is the lining on the fabric, right side, facing right side. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the lining. You know the line is a little bit shorter. So but I'm going to pull it. Let it get to the top and then I'm going to stitch. So just watch what I'm doing now. Okay, so after that, you're going to have something like this. So here's what you are going to do. Remember that 1.5 inches that we cut out from our lining, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push my actual fabric piece so you can just see what I'm doing. I'm pushing it by that 1.5 inches, okay? So you can see I'm pushing it now. So I've pushed it now. Okay. So after pushing it, I'm going to have something like this. So I'm trying to place it. I want it to be straight and then make sure you check all of the sides. Make sure that your lining is out on every side. Okay, so you don't get truncated. So the next thing now, I'm going to start stitching this. So I'm just trying to make sure I check it properly. Check it properly. And then I'm stitching the side of my dress. Okay, so if you notice, I've not stitched on the neckline. I'm just stitching the sides. Yes. I'm going to do now. I just want to make sure I check everything properly before I continue, okay? So I'm going to stitch this other side also. That's this other. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So after stitching, the next thing I want to make sure that my neckline is placed straight, and then I'm going to stitch the neckline and then stitch my armhole like this, and then I'll cut it open. So I'll do that now and then turn it. So but what I'm going to do for the turning, when I stitch, I'm going to leave a little piece on this side. So this side I'm going to open up a little part that I'll use. Okay guys, so you can see I have finished joining everything together. So this is the part that I opened. So the next thing, if you notice, I've marked one side of my dress. So I'm going to explain to you guys how we are going to actually shape this. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'll take this back to my machine and then I'm going to join it on the zip allowance part. Okay, so I'll join. So if you notice my zip allowance, you can see the way I'm rolling it. It's not entirely straight. So when you get to the waist part, it's a little bit curved. Okay, and then I'll get it to that overlap part. And then I'll stitch it and then join the shoulder, the front shoulder and the back shoulder. And then I'll bring it back and show you how to do the final shaping and stitching. Okay, so now we're going to do the final shaping. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to measure the bust. So this is our bust line. So I'm just going to rule the line across, and then this is the under bust line. This is my waist line, and then this is my hip line, okay? So all of these measurements, we're going to impute them here now. So the first thing we're going to add now is our bust measurement. So your bust measurement, now that your fabric, your dress is laid out flat, you are going to divide it into two. Okay, so for mine I'm going to use 37. So 37, so just see what I'm going to do. This is 37 like this. I'll mark it, I'll share it into two like this and then get the center of it. So that's okay. So 18 and a half. So you can see how to get it accurately. So I'll place it here like this, okay? And then I'm going to mark like this. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I've marked that part and then I'll mark this one here like this also. Okay, okay, yeah, I just wanted to be sure. So I'll mark it here. So that's my bust line. So just ignore this first one that I did, ignore it. Okay, and then I'll mark here and then I'll come to my under bust measurement. So the under bust measurement that I'm making use of is 33 inches. So I'll divide that 33 into 2 also, and then I'm going to place it like this. Okay, that's like 16.5. So I'll mark it here and then mark here like this. So as I go along, I'll connect this line to this line and then connect this one to this one immediately. And then the next one is my waist measurement, which is 36. So that's 18. So I'll place it like this. So I'm trying to get my 18. So I'll use this line now. From this point now, I'll connect it here and then so I'll mark this here also 18 and then I'll connect it so you can see. I'll connect it. So I'm just trying to join the lines together, okay? And then I'll come to my hip line. So on top of this hip line, that's where I'm going to impute my hip measurement. So the hip measurement that I'm using for this, my hip is, I'm using 42, okay? So that 42, you divide it also into two like this. And then you take it like this. So we'll have about 21. We'll place it here like this. Okay. Place it like this. Okay. So that's it. I'll mark it like this. I'll mark it on top like this. Make sure I stretch it out nicely. And then on this side also, I'll mark it like this. Okay. And then here's what I'm going to do. I'll just, if you notice, I'm not doing like a big circle curve. That's where most beginners used to miss it. So this now, I'm joining this line to this point now. So you can see I'm just taking it easily. Okay. So I've connected the hip line so you can see. And then from here now, I'm just going to do this. And then towards the down part of my gown, I'm going to determine for this part, I'll determine how slim I want the down part of my skirt of my gown to be. So for this, I really don't want it to be too wide. So I'm going to go with 17. So I'll mark my 17 here like this, and then I will connect this like this straight. And then you can see, so see the way I'm connecting. Okay. So the next thing, I'm going to take this to my machine, and then I'll go and stitch. That's how simple it is. So I'll take this back now to my machine, and then I'll just pull here since it is a sleeveless, and then I'll go out. And then this also, I'll just pull it a little bit, and then I will stitch. So I'll do that and then iron it, and then show you the final look of our dress. Okay. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, you can see how our gown looks like. It came out really fine. So you can see, so see the back, it came out, everything came out really fine. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much guys. I'll see you in my next video.